Hi, I'm Eric. On this episode, we're gonna do a three-part series. It's going to be a little different than we've ever done before, because we're going to bring in some other people. I met a fellow veteran, younger, from one of the current conflicts, and he was a sergeant. His name is Steve. Delightful man, and has a heck of a story. He's working with vets, and heck of a story. And he came up, and he and I talked, and we'll be talking right here, talking about coming home and what coming back to the real world. That's what we used to call it. And you're going to get an old vet's perspective and a younger vet's perspective. Viviana, my wife, and Jennifer, his wife, are going to sit down and talk together. And you're going to get an inkling of an insight into what it is to live with a veteran. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And there's plenty of good. So this will be a fun series. I'm Eric Hollenbeck. Welcome to Tales from the Ox. Hi everybody. I'm Eric Hollenbeck, and we're going to try something new today. I've just met Stephen. Glad to meet you, sir.
Honor is mine, sir.
Stephen is a sergeant, so from here on out, he's sir to me. I only got one stripe, folks. Sarge was a Marine in the Marine Corps. What's the simple?
Semper Fidelis.
Semper Fidelis.
It's Latin, and it means always faithful.
Yep.
And we take it to the max.
Oh, come on. I've walked a mile in them boots. I get it.
Yeah.
Always faithful. That's a wonderful motto.
It is.
Faithful to our human beings. Yeah.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
I love those old core values, honor, courage, commitment, selfless service to others. Those core values they taught us way back when, they really ring true today.
They really ring true to me anyway. Yep. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, they do. So please, Steve, you tell the camera who you are.
I am Steve Baird. I am a former Marine Corps sergeant, like you said. More importantly, I'm just a veteran. I'm an American veteran, is the way I say it today. Years ago, one of those experiences, like you said, you'd never take back for all the things in the world. It led me to find another brother. He was a Navy veteran, Brian, and we reached out together on a softball field and started a group called the Band of Brothers, which interestingly is 101st Airborne. It's an homage to his unit. But we started playing softball as a form of getting out of our minds and the camaraderie piece of things. Mm-hmm. And that grew into 4 softball teams, and then billiards, and then bowling. So we have a group called the Band of Brothers, but it's really known as the Echo Group, which is the military phonetic for the enlisted group. We allow a couple officers in. They're pretty good. But
he could be a catcher.
Yeah. And yeah. The one I'm thinking of, one of my mentors, he's 81. he still plays first base and catches line drives. He's amazing too. Just you guys, I tell you, different cut from a different cloth. We are blessed. We do crisis response to rescue our own brothers and sisters that are in crisis. That's really what we do more than anything. And we have a home for homeless and at-risk vets down on the Central Coast, but we've been able to start spreading. And then my wife, the most important part, as we've talked about, started a group called the Hearts of Armor. And the Hearts of Armor is so overdue in our country. It's for the spouses and the children of veterans.
I couldn't agree with you more, Sarge. What you and I do every day is fluff. What the whole world does every day is fluff. The real work, raising children, and we come back, you and me, and we come back with the burden of war, because we were in it. We got it. We all over that. Well, some of that burden sloughs off onto our progeny. I'm sorry, sloughs off onto our significant others, big time, but it sloughs off. And I thought about this, and I thought, hopefully our progeny can break that cycle, and then move on. The problem, Sarge, is that we haven't been out of war for 2 generations.
Wow.
Since I've been alive, we have not been out of war for 2 full generations to break that cycle.
That makes a lot of sense. We can never escape it at that rate.
We don't escape it.
No.
It's right there in our face. We don't realize it's in our face, but it's right there in our face all the time. Where are you at?
We're in Santa Barbara County, just south of Pismo Beach area.
That's
about 10 hours away.
That's the other side of Garberville, folks. Yeah, it's one of those places, the other side of Garberville. And they came up and to meet with us and talk with us. And I thought his story has to be told. What he's doing for the community. Heck with the veterans. We say veterans all the time. For the community.
Yes.
For the community at large has to be told. And what Jennifer, his wife, and Viviana, my wife, they're going to do the next one. What they have done for the community has to be told.
Okay, we have this nonprofit and we help people and we help them in the darkest times. And I've been there 12 years ago. I found myself there again. I remember watching your show, learning about you being a veteran a long time ago, years ago. And since that time, my father passed away, and I grew up with my fondest memories growing up in my dad's cabinet shop. And I have not been able to stop jumping into helping others because that keeps me out of helping myself. And I found myself in a spot on a Sunday morning. Well, back it up to Wednesday, but we'll say Sunday morning for the sake of the VA and all the other fine people that help. Something told me to send you an email, and I thought, yeah, that'd be great. I could maybe put all this stuff on paper and try to plead my case, how I was feeling inside. But I looked up Blue Ox Millworks, and I called here at 9:10 a.m. on Sunday morning. And a man answered the phone. And I started to say, I'm Steve Baird, sir, and I have a veterans and I help. And I stopped, which is always good for me to, 2 ears and 1 mouth, use them accordingly, I've been told. And I stopped and I said, sir, is this Eric? You remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you said, yes, it was. You answered the phone. And what you didn't even know was a heck of a dark time for me.
Mm-hmm.
And we're 10 hours away from each other.
Yeah.
And I felt like, I don't know if you heard the tears flowing. The rain was there too, so you couldn't tell, right? But I'll never be able to explain that. All I know is that I'm here for a reason. And when we talked a little bit about veterans, and you said, what'd you do in the military? I said, I was infantry. And it didn't matter to you what my job would have been. It didn't matter if I was a human being, a veteran. It didn't matter. I could tell. And I started healing right then and there. And I understood that didn't have the vet program going again quite yet, but I asked if I could just simply come up and have a cup of coffee with you. And you said yes. There's not enough time in this program to express my gratitude. But the handshake is...
Well, thanks, Sarge.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And so that's what started this. And I think we're going to talk a lot about those connections today.
Yeah.
My wife couldn't wait to jump in. She saw Viviana on camera. She said, I have dyed my hair. I'd love her already. and you have just shown us the most kindness and grace of all time. But yeah, I really came up here. 2 purposes I thought would be to meet with you, as veteran brother, father, son. There's a lot of scenarios here, but also I brought my great-grandfather's block plane. Can I show you?
Oh, please. Yeah.
I have it right here. This,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
this was, this block plane. Well, I think it's a jack plane price size, correct?
No, it's a joiner plane.
Joiner plane. And
Yeah.
It says it was used by Manly Baird Jr. building boats in the Jersey Bay in 1933. And that's when he would have met my grandmother. But this is my quiet time. That's my therapy. And I've just been wanting to pick that up and get it going again. And I thought if anybody could kind of show me some pointers on it, it might be you. Well, it would be. But
I got to tell you, folks, I'm only a private, but I ain't stupid. I can't read, but I ain't stupid. And I know from 52 years of working here that how you smooth wood out. And if we can take a minute, but I can't figure this one out. I can't get the geometry through my head. Okay, so I'm going to put this down here. The way you're going to smooth a piece of wood out is you've got a table coming along here, jumps down, and comes along here. So the way the planer works, the way everything works, the joiner, everything. And then here's a spinning knife. Yee! So you can see that the wood comes along here, gets all cut, and then has a smooth surface to run on. And that cuts the board dead flat like this. Well, this plane does also. But where's the jump in how the hell does this do this? Where's it should go down a little bit back here. After the blade, it should go down just a little bit and then you cut and you're riding along and it don't. And yet it works. And for all you smart people out there, I wish you would tell me. Because for 50 years, I got no idea how this dang thing works. Not a clue in the world. It should, you can see what I'm saying.
Yeah, you'd have to start almost off the edge of the board to get
Yes,
it to have that.
yes, yeah.
Thing. All I know, it has the prettiest ribbons that come up out of there.
I get it. I get it.
How does it?
Why is the tail end? I can't.
Why is
I
it
can't.
not
Yeah.
higher?
Why doesn't it clink up and down?
Is it like a card scraper in a sense where you just scraping the top? But it's a planer, so it's.
I can't get it, but this is beautiful, and you keep this, and you look at it all the time and think to yourself, everybody in life, all through history, has had good days and bad days. All of us.
Yes, sir.
Really piss off days, and we've had okay days. And somebody in that mix of soup of good and bad figured this damn thing out a hell of a long time ago. A long time ago. Back to the Egyptians, for God's sakes. And they powered through the good days and bad days and figured this dang thing out, and it works. Folks, this is one of, if you got a big tabletop and you want to smooth it out and make it dead flat, this is the tool. This is a joiner plane. That's what it does. And nothing else is going to do it.
Nothing else. I guess maybe a wide planer electric version.
I got a 32-inch planer here. What if you're at a 44-inch table,
Yes, sir.
12 foot long?
Yes, sir.
Nothing else does it. So we can live through our good days and bad days and come up with brilliance in the soup, in the mix of it all. Somewhere in that mix is brilliance.
It is.
And that's beautiful.
Every time I look at it, I'm still going to use it as best I can because, boy.
Exactly.
Are you a hand plane?
Yes,
type
sir.
of man? I believe I've gathered. And shellac, too. Two of my
Yes,
favorite
sir.
things in this world.
Ain't no stranger to those.
Yeah, I'm proud to show it. And so that is what we'll bring back. I saw you mention when you're out in the redwoods, it takes the ringing away. For me in my wood shop, it's that.
Yeah.
And you just forget about it. The hands are being used. Yeah. The value of this, and I know there's so many people that understand this concept. And I haven't been taking my time for me, and the wisdom is transferring already.
I call them wood angels. Those little
wood angels
coming out. Wood angels.
I love it.
God dang, they're just that sound. The elegance. That's a good word. Good word, Eric. The elegance of it all. Where were you stationed?
I was I was a lot like you. You volunteer for something without knowing it. I was this young kid and was going to go in the Marines with 4 of my buddies, and they didn't end up going. I ended up going by myself, breaking my hand. I'm getting in trouble on my going away party, of course. And but I did pretty well in boot camp. I graduated, top of the class, and then School of Infantry comes along.
Yeah.
That's where we raise our hand without knowing it, right?
Were you guys, was that called AIT?
Ours was called SOI, School of Infantry.
School of Infantry.
Yeah.
Ours was AIT, Advanced Infantry Training.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they were still same three letters. So we're brothers here.
Yes, we are. And I was quickly. They said they were reading off orders. They said Baird, Yokosuka. I never heard of that place in my life. I was going to go back to security force school. I wanted to try out for some special places, and I was sent to Japan. And I thought it was going to be a year when I got on the 12-hour plane ride, and by the time we got there, it ended up being 2 years. It was a lot different perspective than your experience, and being in Japan, where think about that, World War II, the hatred of each other is now replaced by ceremonies and friendship and stuff, and these things are born after this craziness of war, and so I felt honored to be there in a lot of sense. And the Japanese have tremendous honor.
Yeah.
Something I took a liking to was their woodworking, was their joinery.
Yeah.
Blown away. Still don't understand a lot of it.
Yeah.
After that's when I went back to the infantry, and I came into my unit as a corporal already, but brand new.
That's 2 stripes.
Yeah, and responsibility.
Yeah.
These hardened guys are looking at me like, "Who are you, Boot?" That's what they call a new guy for us, is a Boot. I think yours was Cherry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Boot. And I must be super Boot then if I'm coming a boy. So the beatings continued until the morale improved. But I had some great senior Marines that just taught me a lot about leadership, a lot about, how to conduct oneself in difficult times. And there's difficult times no matter what. It doesn't matter what you do in the military. But my infantry time, I am going to be the polar opposite of you in a sense that you spent 322 days in the jungle and we were out running around waiting for it, but nothing really ever happened to us. So, but the similarities are always there.
They're always.
And you said it, one of the things I respect the most when I heard you talk about it is that the spear.
Yeah.
You have the tip of the spear and you've got the spear, and that's all of us. The Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Marines, the Space Force, everybody. And you said, what are you going to do? Take the tip off and you're absolutely right. And that is who our organization is today. It is.
Yes.
A brother of mine is 28 years in the Army supply, cooks. It is all of us. And that's what I love.
And think about the all of them. I tell my platoon guys, because there's this word ramps. Don't ever say that to me. Do not ever say that
Those
word
are fighting
to me.
words, aren't they?
Those are, it could have been a potload worse.
You bet.
Every 7 days, we got food. C rations, even if we had a super hot LZ and they had to kick it out. Who cares? Yeah, you got a dented can. Who cares? We got food. We could have been eating snails and bugs. We got ammunition when we needed, even when they had to kick it out.
People putting the fuel in the choppers delivered. I mean, every aspect.
Every aspect. And somebody had to bring it to the choppers.
You bet.
They had to come by boat. They ain't flying this stuff over.
Nope.
And somebody had to bring it to the choppers, and somebody had to make it back there and seal the goddamn can and make sure that we got something we could eat.
You bet.
There's the whole spear. So don't never, ever give me that flack.
Same with me.
It's all of us.
In fact, I'm tired. On social media and YouTube a lot nowadays, veterans are represented by a real small group of people, and they're special. They're specialized. They're great at what they did.
Yeah.
But they only talk about the special stuff that they did with each other. We're talking about the finest tip of that spear, right? And they're, you know, they did what they did. But what's not occurring, and frankly, it gets under my skin a lot, is that, do you know that there's a 23-year-old young lady, let's call her a sergeant, right?
Uh-huh.
And she's coming out of service, and she's been deployed for somewhere for 6-8 months, hasn't seen her kids possibly, and her husband. Mm-hmm. And they are so much like we were when we came out. And that person, I'd venture to say, because it's me, could care less about the stories of all this heroic bravado. And they're losing their lives, and they're losing families and their things. So I get worked up sometimes when I think about, those guys, thank you for what you did. They were warriors. But they're not representative of 99.9% of us that were in the military.
Exactly.
And lives are being lost. They're put your money where your mouth is, brothers and sisters, and help out the groups that are helping out each other.
The lives are being changed.
Yes. For generations.
For generations. I talked to one guy, I'm not going to say his name because he's still alive, I think. And he came out and photographed us in the field for 4 days and then got the hell out of there on that medevac. Mm-hmm. He bailed on that medevac, of course. I mean, I get it. It was the only time we ever got photographed in the jungle, and I met him again, and for some reason, him and I think it was because I was a radioman, and nobody talked to me.
Why was that?
Because I was a prime target.
Oh, yeah, they didn't want to come near you.
They weren't coming near me. What? No.
True story.
You walk over there. Fine. You know why I was such a damn good radioman for Sergeant Baldwin? Is because my whole life I have had the ability to space out. Mm-hmm. And I could hand him the handset. We are now this far away, 3 feet away, and not hear a goddamn word he said. Looking around until he said Holly or 2-5, and then I'd snap at attention and listen to him. Otherwise, that wasn't my business. That was not my business. He was on the horn to whoever he had to be. And and he loved me. God damn, I mean, I was the best radioman he had because I could do that. And I could do that in a heartbeat. And I, much to my wife's chagrin, I still have that capability. Huh? What?
Can I just tell y'all, the radio operator, the radioman, the importance of that single person, that piece of equipment, is more important than the weapons that whether it's an M79 breech grenade launcher or the M203 that goes underneath ours. Hands down, the importance of that position is, if you have the radio, you might just have a chance on out of there someday. Yeah. Whether you run out of bees and everything else. The RO, and I don't know how you got selected for that. It just probably appears you're carrying it. It's heavy, Jerry, right? I can imagine myself.
Third day in the jungle.
That's about right.
RTO got hit. Oh. Here, Holly, you got it.
Oh, thank you, sir. May I have another?
You are now 2-5 Charlie.
Yeah. And the weight of it and the extra, because when the bees are flying, you have to still be in two places at the same time, right? Because that thing calls in. You have to call for fire, I imagine. There's a lot of things. So you had an ability to compartmentalize, I imagine. Shut this down, pick this one up at the same time. Folks, that is a much respect to all of the ROs and radio men and women out there. It's huge. Comms is everything.
We were one thing that Baldwin did do, and that I quit school at 16 and went to work in the woods because I can't read, and they kept telling me I was stupid. So, well, hell, I'll just go to work then, make some money. And the timber company knew I was underage, so they put me on a survey crew to survey timber access roads into their properties, and I got good at it. I was really good at it. So then in Vietnam, everything, Sarge, everything is tools in our tool bag.
Indeed.
Everything, including combat. Everything is tools in our tool bag as we progress through life. So I get the radio, and Sarge says, first night, he never talked to me, very little. I mean, he would bark orders, of course, but really talk. We only really talked twice.
Sergeants don't bark, do we? We're
No,
soft. We're very soft
no.
spoken.
I shouldn't have said.
I'm laughing because all my friends, they, yo left, right, straighten up. It's very polite right there, by the way.
So the first or second night, because when we set up at night, we'd move every day from one little hilltop to another hilltop. And walk into an ambush along the way. That was our job. That's what we did. Okay, wonderful. We get on the hilltop, and the gunners would set up a perimeter. So you had first platoon, second platoon, third platoon around, and then just inside that perimeter are the sergeants and their radioman and the medic, and then and then the middle of it is that little company entourage.
The entourage, the entourage, special ones.
Those 8 guys that got so pissed off that somebody was actually trying to kill him.
Anything worse than seeing a radio or wearing a radio on your back would probably be wearing some kind of shiny metal on your collar, I would imagine.
Exactly. Yes. So, so we would set up at night, and I was on the inner circle, and we didn't have to pull guard duty at night. We didn't put out claymores. They did. All the gunners did all that stuff, and Baldwin pulled out a map, quad map, and laid it out and said, "We're right here, and I want you to watch throughout the days." 2 days later, he says, "Where are we?" Well, my surveying toolbox.
Oh.
I said, "Oh, you're up here, over here. Oh, we're right here. See, we're right here." Good job. You have to know, as a radioman, where the heck we are at all times.
And that is darn near impossible in the jungle. Terrain association is so easy when you're not in a jungle. You can look at a mountain or a tree and you can figure out in a pace count in that stuff how you were able to discern. You were like my point man, young man. He was amazing. There was nobody like him. But how you were able to do that, that's
And he said to me, so a couple, 3 times I missed it. And the volcano starts erupting. But most every third night, fourth night, whenever he'd ask me, I had it, and I was watching all the time the terrain and taking into account that we're moving by this hillside and going on to the next hillside, and yeah, I kept that map in my head, and see, that's our toolbox.
Sure is.
And if we can maybe, Sarge, talk just a little bit about the toolbox and about PTSD. Okay, I get it. I have lived with that. There are some real downsides to PTSD. Real downsides.
Sure.
You know, we've been here 50 years and ain't making but a scratching by a living. There's some real downsides. You don't know your own value. You know, you're expendable. But there's also a PTSD. And that's what I want to hang my hat on. PTSD, post-traumatic stress gift. Because we got a lot in our toolbox, you and me, and all of our brothers and sisters. There's a lot in your toolbox you don't even know is in there. You haven't got a clue in the world. We started this company, Viv and I, 52 years ago with a $300 bank loan. And we're still here. We're not only here, but we're an asset to the community.
Sir.
At least that's what they said, except the water department and the sewer department that want their money every month. We're not much of an asset to them. We're always behind, but
I'm a sergeant if you need to send me in to have a talk with them. A quiet one, of course.
perfect. I knew you came up for a reason.
Absolutely.
I told the city one time, a year or two ago, I said, you know, my sergeant would be damn proud of me if he was still alive. We have held our position for 52 years.
In your marriage.
And the marriage, through some pretty god dang heavy frontal attacks, and we've held our position. And that's here. So here's one of the things in the toolbox. Can I describe one thing?
Please do.
I think that a lot of people don't understand that there's one gear in your transmission, one gear below first, and that's granny gear. You drop down into granny gear, you ain't gonna go anywhere very fast because you got no muscle, you got no, you're fatigued beyond belief, you got no sinew left. Granny gear is 1 foot in front of the other.
Yes.
And you do make headway.
You do.
It's just 1 foot in front of the other. There's no brain power, there's no, well, I shouldn't say that, but you know, all that it is that you are in granny gear and moving forward. Every one of us has got that.
I think there's so much brain power that there can't be any brain power. Does that make sense? It's so much going on. I love the toolbox analogy. And I'll share some things later about the power of that. And some people think, oh, that's
Well, do it
harsh.
now. Yeah.
Oh, well, let's face it. We live in a society where there's a lot of outpouring and caring. Come on, buddy, come on. And I was never one that really responded well to that. I mean, to a point, but I did better with get up, put one foot in front of the other, and move forward. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
I had a deputy one time tell me, "You're going to be okay. You're a veteran. You're going to be okay." And I said, he wasn't asking, he wasn't suggesting, he was telling me.
Yeah.
And he was an Army veteran. My mentors are all Vietnam vets. I have one Korean War vet. The guy's amazing too. But the Vietnam veterans to me are you epitomize. Look, you may get drafted, you may get over there, but you're going to go do things that will never equal out ever again in society that we'll ever know, right? And the grit and determination in coming home and not, parades, the grit and determination to keep going forward in that granny gear. If you're like me, the computer of the car nowadays is all Wi-Fi, all this stuff, There's no way I could be in a computerized car if in my brain there's too much going on. I simply just had to apply fuel and spark and hopefully keep those things going. And it gets to that simplest of things, but without somebody with grit like you all that paved the way for our generation to show us that it could be done, then it's always a matter of you do that, but I'm not going to show you it could be done, but you need to do this. There's a lot of what they call leaders like that. That's not leadership. That's not mentorship. So the things that you're talking about really need to be told, especially to veterans who then need to help do their part to lead the world and help each other out, but with a form of respect, not an order, but it is, let's go forward. We're going to pick you up, brother or sister, but you're going to have to walk at some point.
You got it one step in front of the other. Another one is mission. There is no word in any language that means more to me than that one word. Mission. And it's sacred. It's absolutely sacred. It cannot be broken. And my mission in Vietnam was protect the radio. That was my mantra the entire time. Protect the radio, protect the radio, protect the radio. No matter what situation we were in, was protect the radio. And I came home, and 2 years later started Blue Ox, and it was protect Blue Ox. That was an easy transition. It was just a mission. And mission to me is, it could be the mission of your marriage. You got married. You got a mission now.
Yes.
That's sacred. Absolutely sacred.
Parenting.
A parent. Now that's a mission. That word carries so much gravity and responsibility with it that no other word that I know of
Nothing close.
doesn't even come close. No.
I think that's a big struggle for people when they get out. I know for me, getting out, that mission, it's easy it's a mindset. It's just normal to me and to you.
Yeah.
I totally understand it. And then you get out and the mission becomes adjust back into society. Well, society oftentimes doesn't quite know what it's doing, and there's everybody on every side. So we're trying to adjust to something. I think the biggest pain and trouble that leads to really bad things happening is people don't have a mission, and they don't have something to put that time to. I could be on an average Wednesday. I could be down in the dump. My legs hurt. My back hurts. A phone rings. Somebody needs some help. I'm up and I'm running. Woo, high-fiving.
Yeah.
And you can be in the darkest of places, right? And or in just
It pulls you right
training
out.
gear, and
Yeah.
you're
Because
like
you have a mission. But you can't, I have never been told a mission in 4 or 5 sentences. What the hell's that? That ain't a mission. That's a book.
yeah, yep.
You,
That's right.
you haven't given me no mission. I want you to integrate back into society and become a contributing member to the wonders of society. That's a goddamn book.
Yeah.
That ain't no mission. The mission is find yourself, what you're good at, and get out there and do the best that you can at it. That's a mission. And as a radioman, you didn't talk on the phone, on the horn for 10 minutes and tell them it was this, this, and this, period. I need fire support now.
Yep. There was never a talking to each other about feelings. I'm not feeling so good today, Sarge.
Yeah.
What? I didn't even hear you. Bye.
Yeah. Boy, life's a bitch. Really sorry.
But now we spend a lot of time, and I don't know. I'll never know the therapy of this time frame versus this time frame. It's way not important to me.
Yeah.
My mission, because of what was given to me, was to now go forward with purpose and intent. I know the commander's intent. Help one another in life. That's simple.
And you just said it in 3 words. Help one another. I think that's 1 word, in life. Oh, maybe it's 4 words. Okay. That's a mission.
That's it.
You see, that's a mission. This, go into society and become rich and famous and do all of this, that ain't a mission. That's a goddamn book.
Selfishness isn't part of my mission.
Oh, no.
I want this and I want that. Well, what about that person?
Yeah. No, I get it. Why do you think we're broke all the time?
My wife and I do all this for no paycheck either.
We ain't broke. We are rich as sin.
Yes, indeed.
We are Viv and I are rich as sin and couldn't be any richer. It's just a different form of wealth. But what you do, you see, what Sarge didn't tell you is that the nonprofits that they have started is to work with veterans in crisis, and I get it, Sarge. If you come out of the military with no mission, which is what they're doing, they're giving you a book and saying, go be a successful entrepreneur. Without a mission, you can get lost. And Sarge goes out, the police and sheriffs of his area, south of Garberville, have his telephone number, and if there's a veteran in crisis, wigging out and having a hard time, they call him, and then you go out and talk the veteran out of the tree, talk the veteran off the edge of the cliff, and come on, let's go do this. I've walked a mile in those boots. Can I tell you, Sarge, that, and I get to do this even though I'm a private because I'm older. Have you ever heard the term, what don't kill you makes you stronger?
I have.
Can I tell you what I think that means?
Please do.
Does it make you mentally stronger? Hopefully you learn something from it, whatever. Physically stronger, there could be some of that in there. Spiritually stronger, there could be some of that in there too. There's all those things. I think the real strength is it gives you empathy because you've walked a mile in them boots, and you get to look the other soldier right in the eye and say, you don't got to explain nothing to me.
That's right.
Walked a mile in those boots, my friend. I even got the T-shirt. So it's, and that's why I can work with our dropout high school kids.
They're the best.
Because I can tell them, look, at the beginning of the year, up until 2 years ago, we stopped the program 2 years ago and have switched it now to a different kind of program. But and the reason for that, I have to continue that sentence, is that for 22 years, Viv and I paid for the program.
Wow.
The school system would send these kids down here 2 or 3 days a week, 25 of them, and pay us $3,500 a year. $3,500 a year didn't even buy the coal for the blacksmith shop. Didn't buy the wood for the wood shop. Sure as heck didn't pay for all the craftsmen that we had teaching these programs. God. And 2 years ago, our daughters, who are beginning to take over now, said, you got to stop this. This is stupid. This ain't working. And financially, this is not working. And now we do a different kind of high school program. Oh shoot, I can't. Charter school program. And they actually have some money, and the charter schools pay for at least the craftsmen teaching the kids. So we're getting away, we're almost breaking even. Anyway, I was going somewhere with that. The thing I would do is I would get all of these kids together, first day of school, and say, look, you're okay, every one of you, because I'm one of you, and if you ain't okay, I ain't okay, and we ain't going there. Here at Blue Ox, we ain't going there. I guarantee that ain't going to happen.
But
ever.
You gave them that empathy right off the bat. You understood them.
So now we're all okay.
Yes.
We're all on the same level.
Yes.
So now, where do we go from here? Let's go ahead and climb some ladders and see what the hell happens. But we're starting out, we're all okay. Yeah, and the same way with the veterans. When we work with the veterans, they knew they didn't have to tell me about their combat. I walked a mile in them boots.
You literally answered a phone call, and by the sound of your voice and my few words I was able to get out, you didn't even, there was no verbal I already knew that the moment I heard your voice, and that is what it is. And do you know there's a poem? We'll say it's a poem, a PTSD poem, not the good PTSD poem, but the PTSD poem, and it goes like this. A soldier, a Marine, airman, sailor falls in a hole. Let's call that hole PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon, Sergeant walks by. What are you doing down there? Well, Sergeant, fall in this hole and I'm not able to find my way out. You remember an E-tool, the old little collapsible shovels? Sergeant throws an E-tool down and says, hey, use this tool, part of your tool belt, and start digging some steps or something. Pew! Gives him his mission, he steps off.
Yep.
Well, he's down there digging, okay, maybe, but it's a deep hole sometimes.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, let's call the LT, the brass walks by, the platoon commander, in our case, walks by. Here's a bucket. Use the tool that your senior NCO, your sergeant gave you, combine the two, figure out a way out. Pew, and he's gone. Okay, now it's getting good. Now he's feeling a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
But he's still frustrated in there. Pretty soon we'll say a psychologist walks by, counselor, whatever. Well, let's talk about your childhood. Let's talk about all this. Okay, got some stuff off my chest, gone. Still sitting in that hole.
Yeah.
Then maybe sometimes meds are involved. Let's just be honest, right? Medications and things. And so next comes the psychiatrist, I believe. And well, take these and these and these and these. You're going to feel better. And if you're lucky, you've got clergy person, pastor, priest, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
Let us pray. And all these tools now are in this tool belt, but that hole is deep enough for that person. And you truly, unless you know how to get out, you're still stuck.
Yeah.
But then some guy like you, like me, no rank, we walk in and you look down in that hole. And what are you doing down there? Brother, sister? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm helping. I'm stuck. And we jump in the hole with them. And they flip. What are you doing? Now we're both in here, you maniac. And you simply said to me, relax, brother. I've been in the hole before, and I know how to get us out of here. That's the gift. That's the gift. It's just that.
Yeah.
I'll jump in the hole with you any day, brother. Cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Eric, a cup of... Can I come up for a cup of coffee? I'm willing to drive 10 hours for a cup of coffee. And you said, I'd like that. And then you told me you're excited about it. I said, I'm not as excited as I am, but I did. But it's that simple. And it needs to apply everywhere. And our group, we pride ourselves when somebody they're going to go to the VA and they're going to get the diagnosis of things, right? Their disabilities are coming up. Mm-hmm. And we all want to be tough, mentally strong, and all this stuff. But okay, you got a problem. And when those things come down, they feel heavy on a person. You know what we do? We high five, we celebrate. Yeah. Welcome to the family, brother and sister. Because the stigma has got to stop.
Yeah, got to stop.
And furthermore, I know the answer to this for you. A lot of veterans will say, well, I can only talk to another vet because nobody else will understand. Perhaps there are things that we have unique to our brain that want. But you know what's common? Love. Yeah. And when civilians, I hate the word vet civilian. We're all one in our group. We have family members, children, strangers. They come in. We all play together because we're all humans.
Yes.
You know?
What about the policemen? What about the first responders? What about the firemen? We're all veterans, all of us.
What about the people out, harvesting the fruit in the fields?
Yeah.
Where I come from. There's everybody's looking for a way to draw a line of delineation between me and you. And come on.
Bullshit.
Come on. We've got to get the concept down. It's a simple concept.
It's a simple concept.
And there's a lot of suffering that happens when you can just go into granny gear.
Yeah.
And boy, that's going to stick with me.
Yeah. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And you can also watch videos here and here.